I have a very handy device here. How many of you, just by show of hands, know what this is? Just by show of hands. I had no doubt the bishop would know what this is. Got someone back there. Somebody need the glasses this morning. They can't see it. Amen. Amen. He knows what that is. This is a very interesting device. Now, it's not an original. It's not an original, but the original is what I want to talk about. This is kind of a knockoff. It's a different brand, but there's a device called a Swiss Army knife. A Swiss Army knife. Now, this ain't a Swiss Army knife. It's close, but it's not a Swiss. If the Lord had given me this revelation a little earlier, I would have went and got one. But a Swiss Army knife, I went to their website and I read the following section that I want to read to you about this knife. It says, since 1897, that's a long time, the Swiss Army knife has been a trusted tool of adventurers around the world. Whether you're exploring the city, the ocean, the mountains, or even space, the Swiss Army knife is the companion you can count on. Yeah. This device here is very interesting. If you open it up, you'll discover that it is indeed a knife. It's a knife. It's a pretty sharp knife, too. I had to do some housework this weekend. Still got a couple remnants of some things I had to shave off on it. But it's a pretty sharp knife. But the mistake you'll make in limiting it to just a knife is that it's more than a knife. That it has more to it than what you can see with the naked eye. See, if I pull right here, there's a bottle opener. Yeah. And if I flip it over and pull right here, there's a little mini saw. If I open this here, this bad boy even got a screwdriver on it. And so it's a dangerous thing to limit this thing to just a knife. Because it's more than a knife. It has many functionalities, though its primary function is to be a knife. I can also open bottles with it. I can also screw in a loose screw with it. I can also cut down something that may be a little too hard to cut. It's a dangerous thing to limit a thing to just anything. And every May we celebrate a day called Mother's Day. But I would argue that today we are not just celebrating mothers. That today we are celebrating more than mothers. Y'all mothers help me out on this morning. Anybody who knows a little something about a mother understands that a mother is never just a mother. A mother is a teacher. A mother is a counselor. Though she's never been to medical school, a mother is a nurse. A mother does not have her degree in science and space, but she is a scientist. Although a mother has never gone to culinary school, except some who may have, a mother is a gourmet chef. A mother is a tutor. A mother is a coach at times. A mother is never just a mother, especially if she's a good mother. And that's what I want to talk about today. If I would get today's sermon title, it would simply be More Than a Mother. When you look at a mother real quick and say, mother, you are more than. Look at another mother real quick and say, other mother, you are more than. I want to talk about more than a mother because when we talk about this Proverbs 31 woman that everybody wants to be for some reason, I think we miss the revelation of what's actually going on here. This Proverbs 31 woman is a phenomenal woman. This woman is all that and a bag of Doritos. This woman got it going on. As Bishop would say, she's a bad mama jamma, just as fine as she can be. This sister is doing the dang thing. Can I just give y'all her resume? This sister is a wife. This sister is a mother. This sister is a real estate agent. This sister is an entrepreneur. This sister does the dang thing and she makes it look good. To just limit her to just a woman would really be offensive because she's more than that. And so as we celebrate you mothers on today, I want you to know that you are more than a mother. Though I appreciate you being the mothers that you are more than a mother. Help me preach the sermon real quick. Look at someone today and say, Pastor Mike wants to talk about being more than a mother.
Being more than a mother.
I want to give you 3 reasons a good mother is never just a mother. And I want to pull them from this great woman that's highlighted in scripture for us to see, because this woman was something special. The first reason I believe that a good mother is never just a mother. I hope you're taking notes. I'm going to give you 3 S's. I say 3 in a possible. I'm going to give you 3 S's. The first reason I believe mothers are never just a mother is because mothers are a standard. Mothers are a standard. Somebody say, I'm a standard. I'm a standard. Brothers, you can say that too. I'm a standard. I know you're not a mother, but a mother, a good mother, is a standard. You're looking at the text and saying, Pastor Mike, where in the world are you getting this from? Verse 10 opens up with, who can find a wife of noble character? She is far more precious than jewels. I looked up the word standard. I went to my 2 good friends, Merriam and Webster, and Merriam-Webster defines the word standard, don't miss this, as something established by authority, custom, or general consent, and this is the part I want to highlight, as a model or an example. Yes. I'm going to read that one more time. It is something established by authority, custom, or general consent, as a model or example, which means someone of power has said that this thing is the model you should model yourself after, or the example you should look to for a certain thing. Not only that, but it says it's a general consensus, which means everybody can look at this thing and agree this is a good thing. Yeah. Now, what does this have to do with mothers? Mothers are a standard. And I would put it this way. A good mother is the model by which her children measure what a good woman is. I thought I was going to get more amens than that. I'm going to try this one more go round. A good mother is the model by which her children measure what a good woman is. It's the first measurement that we have as young men. We look to our mother, and whether consciously or subconsciously, we go through life measuring other women against the first woman we ever met. And so when we're on the playground playing with little Susie, there's an expectation that has already been perceived in our minds in regards to how this relationship should go. Because Susie ain't going to just talk to me any kind of way. Because my mama don't talk to me any kind of way. Susie ain't going to put her hands on me like she know me. Because my mama only puts her hands on me when I mess up. Susie has to deal with me a certain way because I'm measuring her against the first lady I ever met. Now, daughters, it's the same thing. I measure whether I'm being good against my mother. I measure how ladylike I am by the example or the model I have at home. I measure how I should deal with the opposite sex based on how I see my mama deal with the opposite sex. I measure how I should clean myself and carry myself based on how I see mama clean and carry herself, or unfortunately in some situations does not clean and carry herself. Mothers are a standard. Yeah. And so we have to be very careful as mothers. If you're going to be a good mother, you got to watch what you do. You got to watch what you say. You got to watch how you conduct yourself, because you are the first measurement that your children have. So as we go into the world, we receive love a certain way, because we're measuring that love against the love we received from our mama. Yes, Lord. We walk in a certain confidence in this world based on the confidence that we've seen on display by our mothers. Yeah. We engage in our relationships the way we engage in our relationships because we've watched how our mother engages in relationships, which raises the question, are you a mother worth measuring? Yeah. If your child had to put you up against another, how would you measure up? Now, don't get me wrong. I know you may not have all the degrees. I know you may not have the mansion. I know you may not have the Range Rover outside. But notice what it says about this woman. Although she has all of these amazing things, although she's an entrepreneur, although she got a boo, although she probably got a nice house, although she dresses real fine because she makes the clothes herself, it doesn't start off with any of that. It says, who can find a wife of noble character? She is far more precious than jewels. So the measure of how good she is not based on the jewelry that she has, but it's based on the beauty that she has on the inside. It's based on the integrity that she walks in. It's based on the confidence that she exudes. It's based on the love that she gives. It's based on how gentle she is with her tone. It's based on how she can build a man up and not tear him down. It's based on the things you can't see. And so we measure life around us by the invisible qualities that our mothers possess. See if I can make this plain. There were two brothers who went out to the electronics store. One of the brothers wanted to buy a new TV. And he was excited to show his friend this new TV that he wanted to buy. And so they get to the electronics store and he says, man, I can't wait for you to see this TV. I've been researching it and it's going to look real good in my living room. I can't wait for you to see this TV. So his friend's like, all right, show me the TV. And so he says, bam, here it is. And he looks at the TV, the friend looks at the TV and he goes, What do you mean? He says, well, it's not a good TV. And he says, what do you mean it's not a good TV? I did my homework on this. I know this is a good TV. He says, nah, that ain't a good TV. He says, well, hold on. Do you see how big this TV is? He says, yeah, it's a big TV, but it ain't a good one. He says, well, wait a minute. Did you read the sticker and see all the features this TV has? He says, yeah, you said that's cool and all, but it ain't a good TV. He said, man, listen, do you see the price of this TV? He says, yeah, the price is right, but it ain't a good TV. He says, well tell me, brother, I got to know, why are you saying this is a bad TV? He says, because I got a good one at home. The point he was trying to make to his friend is that when you've experienced a good thing, you know a bad thing when you see it. When you've been in the presence of something good, you know when you're in the presence of something bad. And he was trying to get his friend to understand, listen, I know it's big. I know it's flashy. I know it has all the features. I know the price is right, but I got something good at home. And the only reason you think it's good is because you don't have nothing to measure it against. Can I help us brothers out? Listen, I know your mama ain't so cool, and I know your mama don't rock all the latest fashions. I know she may be a little old school at times, but you better get you one like your mama. If you got a good mama, that means she's a good woman, and that means she's a good measuring stick to measure your future lady. Ladies, if you got a good mother, I know she may not know what's going on in this present time, but you better model yourself after her. You can wear the latest fashions, you can ride in the nicest cars, but you better have something on the inside that's worth measuring against. A mother is a first standard. And let me free some mothers on today. Your children may settle for a lower standard, but it shouldn't be because they didn't see a better one. There's some mothers who beat themselves up and say, I don't know where I went wrong, but mama, can I help you? You can show a good thing and they still settle for something else. Your job is not to control who they end up with. Your job is to show them where they should go. And if you're living a certain type of lifestyle, if you're carrying yourself like a certain type of woman, let them do what they do, but just know you showed them the best. There's an old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can show your child the best, but they don't always choose that way. But as long as you show them a standard, then you've done your job. A good mother is a good mother, and she's more than a mother. Because she's a standard. Somebody say, I'm a standard. This next one, bless my socks off. Not only is a good mother a standard, but a mother is a source of power. A mother is a source of power. This one messed me up a little bit. Verse 26 says, her mouth speaks wisdom, and loving instruction is on her tongue. Her mouth speaks wisdom, and loving instruction is on her tongue. Her mouth, don't miss this, speaks wisdom, and loving instruction is on her tongue. She edifies with wisdom, and she leads with instruction. Her mouth is productive. Her mouth is not destructive. Her mouth speaks wisdom, and loving instruction is on her tongue. This blessed me. What they're saying here is that she speaks life into her children. Yeah. That she talks to her children in such a way that they leave her with more than they came with. She talks in such a way to her children that they come to her confused, but they leave with a clear mind. That they come to her with problems, but they leave with solutions. Her mouth speaks wisdom, and loving instruction is on her tongue, which brings me to my next thought. A good mother does not just give birth with her womb. She gives birth with her words. A good mother does not just give birth with her womb. She gives birth with her words. It's a dangerous thing to limit the idea of motherhood to just one who is wombed. Because there are many mothers who have wombs that produce, but words that destroy. Yeah. And just because you can produce with your womb, if you can't produce with your mouth, you're a dangerous creature. Some of the folks that we call mother really aren't mothers. They were just wombed men. Somebody say, I'm not just birthing with my womb, but I'm birthing with my words. And there are some, you may even be watching on Facebook, that you may have never produced anything with your womb, but you are a mother to many people because you have birthed things with your words. You have birthed possibility with your word. You have birthed a new future with your word. You have birthed a new outcome with your word. You have birthed success with your words. Somebody say, I'm birthing with my mouth. A good mother does not just give birth with her womb, but she gives birth with her words. I'll never forget. I was watching, I think it was like Behind the Music. Back in the day, some of y'all don't know nothing about that. It used to come on MTV. But Behind the Music, they would interview a celebrity, and they would go through like an album, and they would tell the story behind certain songs that were on the album. And one of my favorite rappers, I'm an old school guy, is LL Cool J. Ladies love Cool James. I was watching Behind the Music on LL Cool J, and they were asking him about a song called Mama Said Knock You Out. And so he began to tell them how that song came about. He talked about the producers that he met who had been sitting on the beat since like 1989. But when he heard it, he knew that was the one, and he had to link up and get that song. Even though other people had recorded on that song already, he was like, this is my song. I got to get it. But then when they began to ask him the inspiration behind it, he said, I'm going to be honest with you. I had just dropped my previous album, and folks were saying that I was getting soft. Folks were saying that I was out of touch with the black community. Folks were saying that I just was this distant rap figure, that I had no street credibility. And he said, I'm going to be honest with you. I went to my grandmama one day, and I said, Grandma, I don't know if I can survive this rap game. They calling my street credibility out. They telling me that I done went soft. They telling me that I'm out of touch with my audience. And he said, my grandmama looked over to me and said, well, you better go knock them out. And from there, we got the song, Mama Said Knock You Out. Can I help somebody on today? If you going to be a good mother, you got to be a source of power. You got to give me a mama said something. Mama said knock you out. Mama said graduate from high school. Mama said write that book. Mama said start that business. Mama said, like my mama said, preach, black man. Mama said you can do whatever you want to do. Mama said be the next president. Mama said be the next CEO. Mama said be the next supervisor. What did your mama say? Because your mama's words have power. And I don't know about you, but I'm not here because of what my mother birthed with her womb. I'm here because of what my mama birthed with her words. See, I remember there was a time, before I knew Jesus like that, I thought I was going to be the next big rapper. And I ain't gonna lie, your boy had bars. I'm telling you, I had bars. Don't try me. But I never would tell my mom. I used to sneak off to the studio and I would record my little songs or whatever. And I was all on the radio and stuff. Mom had no clue. But when mom finally found out, I thought I was gonna be in trouble because she didn't even listen to hip hop music. But my mom did something amazing. My mom started hustling my CDs with me. And I couldn't appreciate the value back then, but I appreciate the value now. Because watch this. Even though it's not where my mother saw me going, she said, I'm still going to push him somewhere. Your children may not be going in the direction you think they should be going. But if they're going somewhere, it's wise for you to push them, because the same words that can push them forward are the same words that can pull them back if it's the wrong words. I know you may not agree with everything your babies do, but their future is dependent upon what comes out your mouth. Because a good mother does not just produce with her womb. She produces with her words. And there's someone here today you may not have, or watching, who may not have a great relationship with your mother. You may not have a great relationship with the one who birthed you with their womb, but thank God for teachers who know how to birth with their mouth. Thank God for nosy neighbors who now know how to birth with their mouth. Thank God for pastors and elders and evangelists and prophets who know how to birth with their mouth. Thank God for librarians who know how to birth with their mouth. Thank God for pew partners who know how to birth with their mouth. Thank God for godmamas who know how to birth with their mouth. Thank God for grandmothers who know how to birth with their mouth. It's not the one who birthed you with the womb that always deserves the celebration, but if somebody birthed you with their mouth, you should give them praise on today. Somebody said, Mama said, knock you out.
Mama said, knock you out.
I'm here today because my mama said something.
Yes.
And to that mother who may have a strained relationship with your child, I need you to say something, because their future is dependent upon what comes out of your mouth. Mothers are a standard. Mothers are a source of power. But here's the one I really wanted to get to today. Mothers are somebody. Mothers are somebody. Somebody say, I'm somebody.
I am somebody.
Mothers are somebody. Verse 13 says she selects wool and flax and works with willing hands. Verse 16 says she evaluates, a field and buys it. She plants a vineyard with her earnings. Verse 24 says she makes and sells linen garments. She delivers belts to the merchants. I'm going to read that again. I need you to catch what's happening here. Verse 13 says she selects wool and flax, and she works with her own willing hands. She evaluates a field and she buys it. She plants a vineyard and she does it with her money. She makes and sells her own linen garments and she delivers them to the stores. Mothers are somebody. What am I saying? Although this woman was a mother, she was not just a mother. She understood that she had dreams, goals, and ambitions that she had before she was a mother. And she did not allow those dreams, goals, and ambitions to die when she became a mother. Which brings me to my next thought. A good mother does not bury herself beneath her family. She builds herself to better her family. Can I say that one more time? That was tweetable. A good mother does not bury herself beneath her family. She builds herself up to better her family. I don't think y'all mamas got it in your spirit yet. A good mother does not bury herself beneath her family. She builds herself to better her family. What I love about this woman is she said, yeah, I pushed some babies out, but I still got some dreams to push out. Yeah, I'm raising some children, but I also need to raise my standard of living. Yeah, I'm rearing some babies, but I can't push to the rear what God has put in me. I've been called to push out people, but I've also been called to push out purpose. And I want to encourage a mother on today to go dig your old self back up, because many of you have buried who you were to become the mother you thought your children need. And the truth of the matter is your children needed a good mother, but they also needed a good you. Can I help somebody? You're not amazing because you're a mother. You became a mother because you were amazing. Somebody saw something in you that they said, I want this woman to raise my seed. I want this woman to produce another meat in this earth. You're not amazing because you're a mother. You are a mother because you're amazing. And the truth of the matter is there are so many mothers who are walking around, so many mothers who have spent so many years of their lives thinking that the greatest accomplishment they ever had was being a mother. And don't get me wrong, it is an amazing accomplishment. What's even more amazing is those who did it themselves. But can I help you out? The best thing you ever did was not being a mother. For many of you, the best thing you ever did was really something you've never done. Because there's something God has placed inside of you that's bigger than the four walls of your house. Don't get me wrong. I know you poured a lot into that baby. I know you prayed over him or her every night. I know you lifted them up. I know you made every basketball game. I know you made every cheerleading practice. But God has put so much more in you than just another human being. Somebody say, I am amazing.
I am amazing.
And it's not just because I'm a mother.
Yes.
Some of your relationships would be so much better with your children if they knew who you were and not just their mother.
That's right. Wow.
Some of you are fantastic women, but your children only know one part of you. And the dangerous thing about that is who you are is in their DNA. So if they never meet who you are, they never really meet who they are.
Yes.
You're somebody. And you're not just somebody because you're somebody's mother. You're somebody in spite of being somebody's mother.
Yes.
There was a young lady who decided she wanted to get into planting. And so she planted a garden in front of her house, and she lived in this nice little cul-de-sac. And as she started to plant, she discovered this amazing way to water plants, where when she waters this way, it always produces plants. And so her neighbor started to see what was growing in her yard. And one of them came over and said, hey, I've been thinking about starting a garden in my house. Will you come help me water my garden? Because I don't know how you're doing it, but it seems like everything you touch just grows. And so she says, well, my secret is I found this perfect way to water my plants. I'll come over and I'll start handling your garden as well. So she goes over, and sure enough, she starts watering this garden, and all of a sudden stuff starts growing. So the other neighbors in the cul-de-sac, they see it, and they say, well, hey, I would love a nice garden in front of my house. And she says, sure thing. I'll take care of her garden, and I'll take care of yours as well. And other neighbors start coming, and it starts growing, and the whole cul-de-sac now has these blooming gardens. And she noticed that she was watering one of the other gardens. As she looked around, she noticed that there was a house whose garden had gone down. She began to look around. She said, I know I've been doing this one. I know I've been doing that one. I know I didn't miss this one. I didn't miss this one. Whose garden is that? And she began to walk and get closer to the house. And the closer she got to the house, she realized it was her own. That she had spent so much time watering everyone else's garden that she forgot to water her own. Watch this. She forgot to water what made her great. Can I help a mother this morning? Every so often, I need you to go back and water what made you great. I need you to take those days away at the nail salon getting your pedicure and manicure. I need you to take a day every so often to write that book you put on hold to raise your children. Every so often, I need you to go back and get that degree if you got to take it one class at a time. Every so often, I need you to go back and get to writing that business plan, even if you only write a sentence per day. I need you to water what made you great, because being a mother isn't what made you great. You're a mother because you were already great, and someone wanted that greatness. In fact, I would say God wanted that greatness reproduced, and so he allowed you to partner with someone because he wanted more greatness in the earth. Stop burying your greatness. Stop watering everyone else's greatness. It's amazing that you watered fine young men and fine young women. You watered high school graduates. You watered college graduates. You watered business owners. You watered book authors. You watered the next rapper. You watered the next singer. You watered the next pastor. You watered the next evangelist. You watered the next president. You watered the next city council member. But when's the last time you watered you? A good mother does not bury herself beneath her family. She builds herself to better her family, because watch this, the more you water you, the better you are to water them. You don't have to choose between your children being great and you being great. God called you because you were great, and he wanted to pour that greatness into your children. Somebody say, I'm going to start watering me. Some of you haven't watered your dreams, goals, and ambitions in a long time because you thought the highlight of your life was motherhood. One of the proudest moments in my life was my mother, Barbara J. Goodman, graduating with her college degree. And the reason that was amazing to me is because when she did it, after after my mother had watered me into full adulthood, my mother made a decision that I'm going to water myself, that I done poured myself into this boy as much as I could pour into him, and he's grown up to be a pretty fine young man. But I always wanted to go to school. See, for those of you who don't know, my mama's an intellectual. It's something that makes her great. If you think I'm smart, you should sit down and have a conversation with her, because all of my deepness comes from the depth that is her. And so my mother is an intellectual, but my mother could not go to college. She unfortunately could not have that experience at the time she wanted to have it, but it was always in her. It was always in her. And though she had to put it off for a little bit to water me, I was so glad when she made the decision that, son, I watered you enough. You've gone as far as I can take you, but now I'm going to water myself. And it was not easy because she had been out of school for a long time, but my mama did it one class at a time. My mama would drive way to Virginia Beach and come all the way back to Portsmouth. And this was before tolls, but gas was still gas. My mama would go as far as she needed to go, stay up as late as she needed to stay, get up as early as she needed to get up, because she needed to water something inside of her, because she understood that although I am a great accomplishment, if I do say so myself, that God put more inside of her, and that she could not afford to bury who she was for the sake of me, that there was still something inside of her. And because my mama was willing to push, because she was willing to go back and water herself, she got that nice degree on her wall. And here's the thing, because my mama watered herself and got the degree, she raised the standard. So now my possibilities are higher. Although I'm a college dropout, I don't have an excuse, because my mama still went back and watered herself, which means I'm 35. I still got time to go back and water myself. She has raised my standard. Mama, you got to water yourself, because you got to raise the standard for your sons. Raise the standard for your daughters. You got to show them who you really are, because when you show them who you really are, you're showing them who they really are.
Yes.
Like the sister in this analogy, you've forgotten to water yourself. And now greatness is all around you, but greatness has died inside of you. And what a tragedy it is to make everything around you great at the expense of the greatness that is you. I need a mother today to make a decision like my mama made, that I've watered everyone I can water. Now I'm going to water me. I'm going to take a week off every so often. I ain't answering my phone. I ain't responding to text messages. Don't even tag me or nothing on Facebook. Somebody say this is my watering season. I'm going to bring back to life what I put on the shelf for my babies. I'm going to bring back to life what I put on the shelf for my husband. I'm going to bring back to life, for some of us, what I put on the shelf for my baby daddy. It is what it is, but bring that thing back to life. I'm going to close here, because these are amazing things. A mother is a standard. A mother is a source, and God knows a mother is somebody. But how in the world can a mother be all these things? And I've come to the conclusion that the only possible way a mother can be all these things is a mother must be solid in her faith. The only way a mother can be all these things, she got to be solid in her faith. She has to believe in something beyond herself. She has to believe in something beyond the system she lives in. She has to believe in something outside of her own strength. And verse 30 says, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord will be praised. A woman who fears the Lord will be praised. A woman who fears the Lord. I love that. He says a woman who has reverence for God will find herself revered by other people. The woman who fears the Lord will be praised. Are there any mothers who can testify that you don't know how in the world you work them 12-hour shifts? It had to be the strength of the Lord. Are there some mothers in here today who work jobs that really only men should have worked? But you got through it with the strength of the Lord. Are there some mothers here today that can testify, I don't know how I got off work and on the other side of town to that game in time. It was the favor and grace of the Lord. He turned every light green. rain. He parted the traffic like Moses parted the Red Sea. The reason you was able to do all those things you can do and be all those things you were to somebody, it was not because you were the strongest. It was not because you were the smartest. It's not because you was the finest. It's not because you were the fastest. But it was the strength of the Lord. It was the power of something greater than you and something greater on the greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. These were the scriptures that got you through, because when you wanted to give up, when you thought you had no more, when you said, I'm tired of this, when you said, I can't punch in one more day, when you said, I don't know if I got another hour in me, it was the strength. He told Paul this way, in your weakness, my strength is made perfect. And I'm so glad that you were solid in your faith, because if you weren't, you would have gave up. If you weren't, you should have gave up. If you weren't, you would have gave up. But God, somebody say, but God. But God in me. My faith in this God is what got me to be all these things I could be to the children who needed me. And a mother who's solid in her faith lays a foundation for a solid foundation for her children. I know your babies don't come to church every Sunday like you think they should. But I can tell you as a pastor who still communicates with a lot of young people, that I find myself in conversation with young folks that you would swear don't know God, but I see the foundation in them. They listen to trap music, but they know some hymns. They might smoke a little weed, but they also know how to lift up a burnt offering to the Lord. They might be into some things you don't really agree with, but there's still a firm foundation. Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're older, they won't depart from it. I know you don't see Jesus in them like you think you should see Jesus in him, but the good thing about it is he's in there. And he's in there because they saw him in you. Yeah. And because they saw him in you, you set a standard. Yes. They may not be choosing it. Come on. They may not be all the way in like you are all the way in. But the Bible says if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, be thou removed. If you've put a mustard seed worth of faith in that child, then every mountain in their life will eventually have to move. Come on. But watch this. Are you willing to birth it with your mouth? Yes. One of the most heartbreaking things I see is when I'm in the store and I see a child, acting out a little bit. And what I hear from the mother's mouth is, you're stupid, you're no good, I can't stand you, all kinds of profane words. Because what they don't realize is that you birthed them with your womb, but you can kill them with your mouth. Some of you may have to change your conversation with your children because you've put the seed in it, but you're not watering it with your words. You're not going to agree on everything. Listen, as cool as me and my mom are, we don't agree with everything. Sometimes I just got to shake my head, chuckle, and be like, Lord, just do what you got to do with her. The only time that should be the other way around. My mama should be saying that, I'm saying? Lord, just deal with my mama. Yeah. But I will always esteem her with my words. I don't care how wrong my mother may be. I will esteem her with my words. I may not agree with everything she says or does. I will esteem her with my words. Because that's the example she gave me. That when she didn't agree with me, she didn't tear me down. She built me up. I'll never forget, I brought some pretty ratchet grades home. And this always stuck with me. My mom said, I wouldn't be mad at you if this is all you were capable of. But I know what's inside of you, so I refuse to accept this. I didn't raise a D student. I'm not accepting a D student. And what that did was not just rebuke me. It just reminded me that my life has a standard. She didn't tear me down. She just reminded me, like the verse of scripture I wanted to preach above these, King Lemuel's mother, that you're a king. So I'm not going to accept peasant behavior when I'm raising a king.
Hallelujah.
I won't accept peasant behavior when I'm raising a queen. I'll love you, but I'm going to keep reminding you that you're a king, that you're a queen.